Hello, this is Julie from Love's Beginning, and today I had a practice that was given to me. Anytime there is a moment of judgment, stress, tension, confusion, fear, any sort of contraction that you notice, what I'm really being encouraged to see is that the illusion is see through or feel through, and to see through, feel through the illusion to the basis that we are every time I realize that there's an opportunity to do that. So, the question I was encouraged to ask in a moment where I've noticed a contraction or judgment, fear, anticipation of a negative outcome, anything like that, is to ask, what do I think is more real than God? Now, that's how it came to me first. Often, I will prefer the non-Christian, non-religious sounding terminology because it just had a personal aversion to that. Growing up, not really trusting or understanding what came from church, not recognizing or feeling it as love. So, if you have any similar experience like this, I certainly understand because I avoided words like God and Christ and Jesus for a very long time. To other people, they're a soothing balm, but to some of us, we never related to them. And then when we saw how they were employed by others, we definitely started to not trust them. So that's it's not really relevant. But if you have a problem with the God word because you're not recognizing yourself as it and you're seeing it as a misplaced and abused authority, which is the way it can be enacted in the world when people use that word, then you could just say love. What do I think is more real than love? The only real thing there is, the real thing that you are. So whether you, and the real thing that everybody else is. Whether you use the word God or love, doesn't matter. Just use a word that works for you and that you're not actively pushing away. The fact that it came to me as God first this time must mean I'm getting over my aversion to the word. So anyhow, the question is, what do I think is more real than, I'll say love this time. What do I think is more real than love? So if I'm in a situation that feels tense or confusing, or I've hit a point of contraction, I'm giving authority. If I stay in that point of contraction, or I judge, or I struggle, I'm giving authority to something that isn't real, to something that I am projecting, to something that mind is projecting, an illusion that mind is projecting. And it's better if the way I see things, if I want to see clearly, if I keep the authority where the authority is not over anything. It is foundational, it's a basis, it's a support, and it is everywhere. Love is everywhere and in everything, coming potentially through everything into the illusion. If we can see it that way, if we use the power of our shared mind to see it that way, to remind ourselves that that is the way it actually is, then it's the allowing. That's our power of allowing. We can allow the love that always is and has been into the illusion we made to have a sense of separation. We can allow it into the world, the illusion, through us, through our actions, through the way we look at our surroundings, through the way we look at other people, many ways to allow love into the illusion. And we're always the one with the power to close the door or open the door. I'll say what I say every time. It's very, very simple. So no matter what's happening, if you remember, you can just open the door to love, to know it's there, it's foundational, it can come into the experience through your allowance, or to close the door. And that's it. Those are your only two options in any situation. When you open the door to love, you're opening the door to effortlessness, to inspiration, to just knowing what to do and say. And we begin to trust that because one feels much better than the other. Not struggling, obviously, feels much better than struggling. But what I'm told is if you're going to use effort, then use your effort to keep your eyes open. Use your effort to remember what your power is. Use your effort toward the one very simple action you can take, remember to take. And then all other effort falls away. That doesn't mean it's not enacted or experienced in the world. Like, it doesn't mean I'll never lift something heavy or work at a project. It just means everything becomes very obvious. And it's not pursued out of a grasping self-interest. It's just very clear that that's what you're doing today or that's what you're doing next. You just know and it feels good, and you trust it. Let's see. Is there anything else? Looking at my notes. I think that's it. Am I giving anything but love or God or all that is or what is beyond my personality and encompassing this right now? Am I giving anything smaller than all that is authority over this experience? And if I am, I can stop. And the best way to stop for me is just take a breath, reset, settle in, remember. It's always a remembrance. Who am I? Who is everybody else? Where am I actually? This where, this time and space, this location is projected from mind. All the various wheres are projected from mind. But really, where am I? I'm only in one where ever. It's always held in the arms of love. And so are you. So if we encourage that remembrance in ourselves, we emanate it and share it with others. We may find ourselves speaking about it, but we don't need to because it is telepathic. And that's another thing I've been encouraged to play with is telepathy. Not just the kind that just happens, that, we're always emanating. The people are always emanating. We pick up on stuff. But just playfully, like before you send a text, send it telepathically and just see who gets it. Just play with that. So that's a fun new thing that, not that it's actually working for me in any way that I noticed, but just the fact that I'm being encouraged, like, now pick that tool up and start to use it because it is a real functionality, and start flexing your muscles and getting in the habit of knowing that you can do this, and knowing and using those muscles and believing, because everything we're experiencing is projected out from mind. So I hope you're having fun with these energies. I know that can be a very provocative statement because these energies are very intense. They just get more and more so. But the more we can abide where we actually are, up here, the more we can remember it, the more we feel escorted and supported through these energies. So I am wishing you the best. Thank you.